Okay. I was supposed to say, this dude has never looked happy. Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. He was an older brother to nostalgia on me. Xiao knew him long ago, and is surely taking it the hardest. And that's on top of what happened with Kakio. Do you think you could check on her? See how she's doing? She'd like to put on a brave face if it's me or my sister. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. I need to press on with the hunt with Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. As you said, you need time to work through it. You're right. I ought to heed my own words. As it stands, I'm of no use to anyone. Kira used to say the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. So. Aww. So I think I'll take myself over to Earth and Sky and say goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use you on the bub or two if you have a shoulder to spare. Absolutely. Right then, let's get off FFXIV for a bit. I've really been slacking. Fred trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air wheelers. They've had the communications modules removed, so even Cal shouldn't be able to seize control of them. Say the word and we'll set off. Ready? We'll be flying close to the pylons, so follow my lead. Raid time! These air wheelers are Janelle's baby. You won't find a smoother ride in all of FFXIV. For years now, I've been taking one out on the shirt whenever I needed to lighten the mood. Sometimes Geode would come along too, and we'd end up racing. Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. We'd often want to talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside the dome. Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. Phew, that helped clear my head a touch. You know, because, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least, the memories from my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head out inside. Hopefully the way will be clear of pests today. Thanks. We can usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the only path. Not that it slowed you down at all. I've never seen you fight up close before, and the surveillance feeds clearly didn't do you justice. Ahem. Hopefully that keeps the route clear for a while, shall we? Ugh.
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
Of course.
Oh.
What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
Shale.
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization.
This is new music too.
You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it. You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I'd recently lost someone close to me. I'd also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First time customer.
He mentioned that.
And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street. Pair of drunken fools.
What the fuck?
Scolding us for
It's like the
obstruction
Family
of
Guy
traffic,
dead position.
not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine. That was Kafkiwa, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come to pass.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kafkiwa was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
They weren't called Oblivion at
Is
first?
that so? I just assumed.
Same.
It hadn't been Kafkiwa's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy, nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially, at least. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned. Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Oh No.
And carried onward by Shale and Geode.
That's where my parents'
We could
Kafkiwa's
never
hopes
have
bound
made it this
together.
far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided.
Well, I am good at it.
Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I can see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this. And why I'll stay the course.
For the promise of tomorrow.
Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
I appreciate you helping me through this, and not only the grief, you've helped me see that my comrades mean even more to me than I realized, which only fuels my determination. We spend in every waking moment working to bring Calyx account to us for crimes. I'll do my part, then you do yours. Oblivion needs you. Simon went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid and narrow down the possibilities. Ask Kral for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting that with her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from preservation, establish an organized resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans, Casina? This. Speen. Cruzina, is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts. I can't help but feel as though something is amiss. May I ask you to join me? Your perspective would be most appreciated. It can wait until after you've finished attending the Shale, of course. It seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on. I have others to break with before I return to the back room. To feel something, even pain, is to remember that they lived. Nice. And to know that I am still alive. Why is this music playing? Why does this ominous music keep playing this at patch? Oh, Cruzina, thank you for coming. As I mentioned, that would benefit your worldly experience. Perhaps it is my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is, even considering the current state of affairs. As I am yet unfamiliar with the outskirts, I thought you might be better equipped to judge if their behavior is unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? Though I hope they'll be proven wrong. I fear something is not right here. You're not wearing a regulator? Don't you know the end is coming? Yeah, I fucking knew it was gonna be new regulators. Well, it's your life to lose. Me, I've got one of those new regulators registered a little while ago. As soon as I did, a display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit is 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shut up right after those machine malfunctions. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. Pity those who weren't chosen, but I'm going to be in the endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. We finally won against that Weebusia bitch. Oh, are you serious? Sorry about that, everyone. Obviously, I'm not even really used to recording stuff, but... My general thought process is I need a DPS at current range today, so I'll work on that. Oh, please tell me you brought more new regulars. Officially, they've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors there are a few left over. Rumors. Sure, the government still has some, or perhaps Queen Speen? I may not look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then, I hardly gave death a second thought, but now I know the truth. That's all I can think about. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to. I can't go on like this. This society of theirs is sick. Fear is like a virus, because they never knew fear. Greetings, I remember when you, because it was Queen Speen, could have checked on our well-being, have you? I can say that things are rather stressful out here as well. Without knowing if or when our machinery might turn murderous, the specter of death is ever present. People are terrified, and the clamor from new regulars has reached a fever pitch. They're gonna turn into zombies! I personally was fortunate to have cleaned a new device earlier on and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now I must begin my prayers. Darkness grows close, grows deeper. And we must cast it out? Nah, hold on a second. The fuck we praying for? Death? My sister would love this map. I mean, I see other streamers do this all the time. Like, they'll queue up for something while doing the MSQ. I hate this boss. I'm so bad at this. Oh, this is embarrassing. I'm so focused on trying to memorize my job. We're gonna cut this out. Yes, that is exactly it. People are overwhelmed by certainty and fear. With each new registration, the fear inside them grows more insistent. How long until it drives into full-blown panic? Christina, can you come to resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with MT and Alphano. Sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go. Oh! I'm loving this. Oh, you found Cat. Oh, God.
What's happened?
Please don't tell me you're gonna summon a
Sorry
fucking
to drag
primal.
you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death is your constant companion. Though you toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed. Though your grand works be poised for completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail. Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning.
Jesus Christ.
The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossen. As for its source, well...
Pretty obvious.
Alex. There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance, will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
Change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first
Yeah,
step.
whatever, bitch.
But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Wow, Wuklamat. You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuliolal.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us? Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go, or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Says the person who got the regulator.
Easy for you to say.
Exactly.
That regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulichola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
Oh, Spain.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people.
You can't...
But what can I do?
I didn't want to say it, but...
I am not their queen.
I knew she was looking at Wuklama, thinking of what? First, a steady malfunctions, now a citywide dance. He has spent considerable time and effort recruiting his 5,000 endless, perhaps more than necessary even. My apologies, the sign's not responding to Innovator attempts to change the display or switch it off. So I couldn't be there in time. The crowd told me everything that happened while we were away. Calix has access to the core system, which means if he chose to do so, he could deploy soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people learn to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, they will not be beyond his reach. Yet, if Sir Soleda first even will, I beg you, please Wuklama. Let them shelter in Tuliyola. We'll welcome any and all who want to come. Finally begun evacuations, and we'll be able to pick up pace once Landsguard arrives. In which case, we had best spread out and keep an eye on the crowds. The mood is tense, and we must prepare for possible violence. If you happen to determine where Calix is hiding, though, we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind. You can't elude us forever. Hans and forget, this is not the future she envisioned for her nation. Oklahoma assesses her surroundings with grim determination. Tuliolo would gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the Glade Queen was so desperate to preserve? What of the bright haven of peace and laughter? Oklahoma. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was a promise I made to her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? Okay. That Speen had no choice. She spent 500 years going against every single one of her ideals and everything she believed in because she was a program who had no choice. The one moment every single moment where she kind of looked to the side and thought, I wish I had help. I wish I had people to support me. Those were the real Speen. That was the real Speen speaking. Okay? The one moment she truly tried to fight against her programming at the end of 7.0, it was decided. Well, I mean, she still went along with the plan initially, but at the very end, the trial. Like, that one moment where she tried to break free of her programming, for the briefest of moments, she was truly herself. And then she was eradicated forever. For the crime of not following Calyx's programming. She never had a chance. Yes, she betrayed us, but she spent 500 years alone. I saw her and myself, I suppose. We both felt that people's joys are our own, yet alone we lacked the strength to protect them. There's so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe, and that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. So when she turned on me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friends you needed. At the very end, yes, they did. I would be yours as well, Speen. Whenever you fail or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we'll protect things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. Should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shell needs a hand? There you all are. Wait, what happened to my skirt? Cool little job. Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Alice and the others said you were here. Good news, Christina. You finally found the chink in Calyx's armor. Or one that he let you find. We discovered laboratories ever keeps 10th level that once housed a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029. It's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think that's where Calyx is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go and check it together? Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up. We'll need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared this expedition for relevant authorities, and we have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Oh, you did a good job. You have got to be kidding me. Run! Run! Bro, shut the fuck up. Ready to head on up? Next stop, the 10th level.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
You got the lights working!
Good, that's the first step, but how do we access it to find out where he is? And who used this last? Was it Calyx and his friends, or?
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City.
Oh, right.
As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in FFXIV, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols.
And?
After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I love her voice actor. I love all the voice actors for Dawntrail.
But Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
You're a treasure, Shale.
I can contribute precious little else, I'm afraid, but I appreciate your kind words. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx.
Ooh, Aya
I'm
music.
more than happy to help, of course. But I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
You all know our main objective. We're here to pick up on Calyx's trail, and I've learned of a certain device that shall help us do this. Explain how as we proceed, but according to information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. As for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. The room we're in is the Researcher's Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is to the northeast of here. So we cut across the circular chamber in the middle, yes? Yes, we should, but unfortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you, work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. In case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I wouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well, let's get searching, shall we? XIV will have the most luck looking where the researchers kept their personal belongings. Oh, this is new. I like this. Was this really a preservation laboratory? I thought there'd be something more, I don't know, special about it. Nothing in there, huh? I'm not even sure where people keep their personal belongings in this day and age. Notice board. Few indecipherable notes remain pinned to the notice board. For security reasons, containment complex, whatever, has been registered as a materials distribution center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourself accordingly, both inside and outside the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks within their designated workrooms of researchers, commons, the proto-lab, or the Dawntrail lab. Entrance into another workroom without official clearance is strictly prohibited. Carry your security card at all times. Your clearance level dictates the areas of which you have access. Equip your regulator at all times. Due to the highly confidential nature of research materials and other data are managed within this complex, preservation retains ownership and the rights to modify the memories of all registered personnel. Leadership personnel. Emeritus, SFR, redacted. Research objectives. Access denied. Please log in with your personal account with you. You hold the card-shaped object up to a scanner. Voila! It's open. You did it, Kazina. And good thing too, I was getting nowhere without outdated circuit. I am curious though, why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by Directed Emeritus, or so that terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Then let's continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. I like this, that they're creating new areas like this. By the room labels on the map, we haven't entered any of the actual labs yet. It's not gonna work. I really like this. This feels a lot more involved. The way this room is set up, the canister inserted into that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we probably spent days invested in this complex. Finding our way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, good little job mentioned lock it over the corner canal. Perhaps you could take a look. Yes, my queen. Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close, and I mentioned to get my hands on them. Today I began my important preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling this work could be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. Main six were correct. Master Calyx's philosophies or fine ideal notions of only vaguely entertained, that mankind was evolved beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had meetings directed Demetrius today. I have heard other praises Genius intellect, that he seems to be but a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calyx's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted access to the top floor and observed the workings of the living room. As predicted, the storage of ether required to sustain an Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Spina insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Our Milala colleagues, including the Protolog chief, are behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? For tomorrow, I've been assigned to assist with the research project in the Dawntrail lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I've been kept ignorant. It's been printed to back up my preliminary data. You've reached the end of the journal entries. I dug this data tablet from the journal. I'll read it to you. The results of experiment 158 show a marked improvement in ether extractions, at least so far to achieve the target value set by Master Calyx. Though I will become Endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. Preserve the number. 158. 11509. One 11509, 11509, 11509, 11509. I like this a lot. They cooked with this shit. This is so much better than just staring at circles and glowing things. You did it, yay! You opened the locker. Yes, but you should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Kuzina. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. They even noticed losing the cars. I guess I imagined they'd be more... what's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx's philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not or would not eventually left the organization altogether. I almost forgot, the researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy with this. You could tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more on the other tablet there. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have both the Dawntrail lab and the maintenance facilities left to search, both for access via the southeast corridor. So let's back to the hub and lock door across the way, which will hopefully yield our new security card. I'll take the old one if you'd like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. think he wants us to see this. Is the thing. The last one is purple. I'll eat my hat. What is happening here? Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, not at all. It's possible that energy supplies for this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above the card scan. In case of emergency, backup power can be routed from facilities. The facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Dawntrail lab, shall we? The Tiro lab? What are they doing here? Engaging power supply. No good, it's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of the terminal leads down the hall, directly to the Tiro lab, which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit? Oh! I believe you have the right of it. Using the control panel as set into shift tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to follow. Well, I wouldn't give for any instruction manual. Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. Might I also ask someone to operate the generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then you'd be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Kazina? The rest of us can help by supplying Kazina with whatever information might be found in the circuitry configuration. I like this because everyone's more involved. See if it gets part of the warning. Check out non-functional duplicate patterns. One at a time. The fucking ladder. Shale generator square. No duplicate patterns. It worked! We did it, Kazina. The Dawntrail lab? The Dawntrail labs? If I may, Shale, maybe access a certain data log before moving on. I was checking the storage shelves and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the early days is the title. Of course, I'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. No, I'll read it out. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the Storm Surge, with Calyx's designs for new defensive solutions founded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calyx funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Researchers into this field continued even after Storm Surge came to an end, with Calyx eventually elected to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is for he embraces endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once before the Storm Surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calyx could not have been more than 10 years of age, required constant treatment for his debilitating illness, yet he still published series so highly regarded that even the royal family is aware of his achievements. But I should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded royal behind his words. So as then and when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to his somber and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence about the death of both my parents, overwhelmed as I was by my son's accession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports of endless research in other less urgent matters. She had no way of knowing what kind of person Calyx was changing into. Did he change, I wonder? Perhaps he has never been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by that same deeply held beliefs that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. He's sort of like a opposite Ascian. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? So, he's had contact with Ascians at some point. But his goal is anti-ethical to theirs in the way because he wants to preserve us. If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Dawntrail lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything at once over just to be sure. Like, he's had to have met an Ascian at some point, interacted with them, probably even took help from them in some form or another. But this is my thing though, because like I said, his goal is like the opposite of theirs. Ascians want, well, most of them anyways, at least the ones who would have brought about the Storm Surge, would have been the ones who wanted the rejoinings to happen and to, well, eliminate people like this eventually when they sacrifice us. But Calyx wants to preserve us, fragmented as we may be. So he doesn't necessarily view someone from the source as more valuable than someone who's not fully rejoined. Did he fight against the Ascians? Did he still receive help from them? I imagine he might have taken their help, but I also imagine that he would have fought against them if it came in contradiction to his goals of preserving life that he deemed worthy. Alexandria, sorry, the one that the vision for that. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. Security card if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a short of wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Take your fucking reward. A calculated evolution. Shell's examining this card scanner. Right, I'll get this door open. What the? Phew, swing of the silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Gods above, isn't that... What? That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. Isn't that the key to the interdimensional diffusion? That looks at the diagram on the monitor, and they've used it to make another key, but isn't it missing the shard inside like the one Krazina has? Ah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Milala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, Preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all of the vessel's components were constructed here, so what might that tell us? Yeah. The crystal itself is the key. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with Electro, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calyx could track the keys because its vessel is made by Preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On the next visit, I will have him to enlist Y'shtola assistance for a more thorough investigation. I, too, am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there is a security card that grants us access to the Director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to organizations higher upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards they left behind. Remember, anything less than 3 is no good to us. But what is his goal here? In the outskirts, it was almost prayer-like, like primal summoning, almost. So what would they pray to? Death? Life? Calyx? No, they wouldn't pray to Calyx. They don't know Calyx. Wait, are you fucking shitting me? I like the little drawer opening animation. Oh, level 3, that should get us to the Director's office. So what is it you're hoping to find in there again, Shale? You're saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. What? After we discovered this ostensibly named abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing and confirmed traffic from a web of Everkey's security cameras, considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities, to monitor what you, as a keyholder, are planning. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of his transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device to see where it's rerouting all the surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes you think I might be entirely on the wrong track. Maybe the reason he's stopping us It's because he can't. Back in Old Castles, Calyx said he was measuring Kazuna's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than her? Death? Death itself. The prayers of the people and their fears. Oh, speaking of cameras, there's nothing I meant to mention. I found evidence of someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recordings also clearly deleted. So I was able to restore the data though, if you'd like to see it. Yeah, I'll start the show then. Maybe? Oh, this shit was intentional!
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me. I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calyx's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are
She intentionally put that card there.
in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come.
Don't turn your back on this dude.
Surely you...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
That is a step up in the level of violence shown in this game. She only wanted to leave and he executed her. I checked the images against the personality, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demeritus himself. Everything you can find in him pointed to deep infatuation with Master Calyx. Cameras in this room have been operation ever since the incident, given that the recording was erased, because I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I'm not surprised given how my parents described the defection from the Institute. He spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as preservation's agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after, but it turns out they were captured by their pursuers. They did not regret their actions. Right, the echo. Knowing you saw them as they were. Your words give me great comfort. Oh, Kryl. Worry not, Speen. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and Preservation. But what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross into the source and threaten their child's safety. Right. Let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office. That, like, you see the blood, you see the fucking exit wound, the blood splatter and everything. Like, they don't really show that stuff that often. It's all like off camera or high camera angles, or you see one part of it. They've really stepped up with the animations. I don't think he would have given that order. Honestly, he probably would have viewed it as a waste because they could have fueled his ultimate goal. It's gold, damn it. Jesus Christ. Damn, this terminal isn't connected to any outside network, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map suggests. Ooh! Oh! Right here. The gems. The fuck? A jump scare. The mystery of the key's condition remains unsolved. Nothing of note. The key triggered an explosion to a temporal interdimensional portal verified. Continuing attempts to stabilize the core as energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory facilities of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. Nothing of note. Rejected resignation of 2 Milala researchers. Major incident. Details in full report. The 2 inept Milala broke with Preservation and absconded with the key. The other fugitives have since been caught and eliminated. We were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Malix's Calyx as physical instruments to conduct this experiment. As part of the research object of our research, Arxis serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Any endless convergence will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. Shut down protocols. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition. Whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise, it must be ready to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, the facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure access room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. I knew it. Have you found something? Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instructions for accessing that secure room, though, it seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There's no such room marked on the map, was there? No, a precautionary measure, no doubt. And if the passwords are involved, I expect the access left itself is concealed, too. Concealed? By electrope, you mean? Ah, could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kakiwa used to say, Shale? Never trust an electrope surface. Ah, she said that? Oh, 'cause illusions. You can pass right through it. Truly, it never had that property in my time. Christina's having a little fun, I think. What we mean is electrope can project a false appearance. The little look away. In which case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock is another story. Didn't that note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input, while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take that proto lab. Then I'll take the Detro lab. The Tiro lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Speen. Your knowledge of Alexandria and his people could be needed here. Yes, right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that might be something I can help with. I can help too. I've lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. I'll take the Tiro lab. The Taro lab. Neutrino. The Taro lab. Lab duty. Then we can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. Kazuna, you shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we have determined what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Woklama and Kyle through the process. You know, since that display is over there, the one with the gems, I thought it was made of electrope. It might have some other purpose, but I can't figure out any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. I knew it! Oh, we're missing one. One for each of the rooms, I guess. Garnet. I've had enough horrors today. I forgot. Sapphire, garnet. Wait. Sapphire. Yeah. Sapphire Protolab, Garnet Detrolab, Oh. Yes, I knew that jewel will come in handy. Let me see. Heat the stones. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gem means something different. But if you ask Speen, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. Yes, if you have questions, you need only ask. While also that Alexandrite represents the concept of protection, it is incidentally also the origin of Alexandria's name. Or are you thinking this had something to do with the passcodes? Speen and a garnet, as you say. Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandrite is a site of protection, sapphire represents honesty, and garnet symbolizes devotion. We should try these words at the terminal to see if they're accepted. I certainly hope we are right. Yes! Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Wolfman rejoin us. Alright everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us. Please do not be preserved bodies or some weird shit. Ah, an interaction with Calyx incoming.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is, but whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
That's a good question. I never thought about that.
The Endless are memories. And if memories are data...
A server? The Mesa Terminal.
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electro-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also
Mesa.
be housed within the Meso Terminal.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in living memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso Terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Spheen's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect the sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the Meso Terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited living memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the Keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
Time's up. And what a waste of time it's been.
I fucking knew it.
Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary.
Yeah.
Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Spheen and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key.
Holy shit. So at the last second, she really did.
I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me? Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
Oh, my queen.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
Indeed, while I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that investigation is for another day. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. She really was trapped. Damn that bastard Calyx. Wait until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. That infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see his time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, provide whatever support I can. One of our own. Spina has resolved to take part in the coming battle. Christina, we've briefed Aaron Vale on everything that's happened and sent word to others, but now we have to consider what our next actions will be. Calix has offered you the opportunity to confront him directly. And though it feels much like striking face first into an ambush, we have little choice. If you're to destroy these memories he supposedly has stored in upper reaches of the Meso Terminal, then that is where we must go. While I'm still upset at being deprived of my moment, I nonetheless did my due diligence. I can confirm that the relay we found is indeed the transmitting the surveillance via data. It is indeed transmitting the surveillance data to a device somewhere in living memory. When you go to fight Calix, pray let me fight alongside you. Let me fight for the memory of Otis and Zelania, and for the other being I may have become. Most importantly, for my beloved kingdom and a joyful tomorrow. It's always been your fight as much as ours, if not more. Thank you for understanding what this means to me. Becoming with you as well, you know my reasons. I'm hardly a saint, but your fellow Scions also have every intention of accompanying you into battle. So adamant were Alice and the others on this point that they have already left for living room. I'm more than ready to do the same. Well, I'll keep patrolling the streets for signs of trouble, especially from anyone near any regulators. Should you need anything from me, I'll be on standby here in the back room. I really want to go with you too, but I know I can't. I know that sometimes you have to be patient and trust in your friends. Oh, Christina. Carl and I think we should talk to Gosson before we leave from living memory. Under Calix's direction, preservation has helped shape Alexandria's society for centuries. Taking them down will have serious consequences, and we need to warn the officials in charge about what we intend. Justifications aside, we shall be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly, we don't know if Gosson will approve or oppose our chosen course. But either way, leave without a word is the wrong thing to do. You've grown up so much, you would have just charged in before. Come, we should be on our way. Resolution first, yes? Be safe, everyone. I'll see you when it's over. Yeah, I thought initially he was a bad guy.
I see. A difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation. However, I also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calix.
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
I've yet to register it. I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties of governance. My greatest concern is how we shall stem this ever-increasing terror of mortality when becoming endless is no longer an option. And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter committed by our own soldiers. The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating endless
I hadn't even considered that.
paradoxically make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course. It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless. Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim, when we have only just learned what it is to mourn?
Oh, jeez.
Tell me, how are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
We stop begging others to teach us for a start. For the longest time, we've been protected by Queen XIV and the systems put in place by our forebears. The hardships and responsibilities of life were distant things, and we felt entitled to our comforts, even as we barely noticed those who risked everything to keep us sheltered. But no more. From now on, we need to learn on our own. How to live with the promise of death. How to endure the pain of loss. We may never learn to love such things, but we may learn to survive them.
First of all, awesome music. Second of all, seeing them arrive brought a tear to my eye. And third of all, how stupid was I? I always thought of them as victims, caught between two worlds, incapable of deciding for themselves. I assumed that I was the only one who could create the path for them. Rather, I should have been showing them. Through my actions, I showed them the correct path to take. Not all of them, but some of them. They don't need me to give a speech and inspire them. It's not just us, it's them too. This is their world, their future. Of course they would fight for it.
The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these fears. There's no reason we can't do it too.
What are you all doing here?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while your house burns down. We came together and thought about how we could help. Long story short, we've decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion. I say fight, but we're well aware of how little use we'd be in actual combat.
Well,
a battle of ideas, on the other hand. Now that we might be qualified to do something about.
That's why they've been introducing us to all these people.
To quell their fears, convince them to make the most of this life, and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
They're from the chain quest on the outskirts.
Those who have already registered will be difficult to sway, but there are still many who waver. Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
Gossen, if you truly care for the people of Alexandria, then now's the time to start thinking of ways to prevent more deaths.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence. Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way, it falls to the government to support and guide them. Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
Indeed it is.
That wasn't... what I meant to say was...
Calm down, Speen.
Amity, you used her name.
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sveen has not escaped our notice. Yet we also understand that you are not her. Having to live in secret, unable to share who you really are, that must have been hard on you. When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same. You're one of us, an Alexandrian, and we don't abandon our own.
I promise to return. And when I do, I look forward to speaking with you all.
Gay. Everyone is so warm welcome. Alexandra's artist of Aristotle. How glad I am to be home. Thank you, Godson. That decision must be difficult. If only I could claim the courage to do so, King. On a push came from Alexandra's citizens, and by even taking the first step towards change. Speaking of which, can I ask you to log on to the regulator to get to it? As your friend registrations for the return member. She would be glad to do so, but I fear there will be no avail. According to our most recent surveys, the number of neo-regulators in circulation exceeds the stated 5,000. I surmise a surplus of units are to account for those like myself who had a change of heart, or are otherwise hesitant to register. That does sound like Calyx would do. Well, we'll have to face him either way, so no point in delaying the inevitable. On to live and let marry.
Things seem much the same.
New music. Lots of new music.
So listen, you have nothing more to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.
Aaronvale, look at you. 'Tis good to see our comrades hale and girded for battle. As for us, we've been ahead to inspect the lay of land. There are no changes of note, aside from them within the Mayfield terminal itself. What happened to the Mayfield terminal? The walls were seated to provide a convenient entrance into the structure's interior. There is no such ingress when we last there, so we must assume that Calyx has since manipulated the terminal's electrode, all to facilitate his most gracious invitation to the upper levels. An invitation that I am eager to accept. For the sake of all who love Alexandria, I will not yield nor leave them to despair. A terminal invitation. I believe everyone determined to be here is present and accounted for. Shall we make our way to the terminal? We wouldn't wish to keep our insistent host waiting. No, we wouldn't. I was thinking the same thing. Like, he literally doesn't need to be this ruthless in pursuing it. Well, here we are again, facing another battle to decide Alexandria's fate. For 4 centuries I slept here. Upon awakening, I found the world as I knew it had changed. I was so frightened at first, I couldn't recognize a single thing, and I thought everything I loved had gone to dust. Yet beneath the unfamiliar surface, much remained the same. For that I give thanks to Otis and Zelenia and the loyal knights who laid down their lives to defend our way of life. I thank every Alexandrian who believed in our future and passed on our legacy. I thank my other self who still loved this kingdom of ours. And I thank all of you for kindling this hope in my heart, this courage to take up arms and fight once more. So let's make our stand together and fight for what we hold dear. The kind and gentle Queen Spain was too weak to serve her people, and so she will serve them no more. Free from conscience, I shall become a ruler that can protect Alexandria, a devourer of worlds. Together we stand. Together we fight. You have my gratitude, and surely Otis and Zelenia will join us in spirit. Let us head inside and finish this. In the upper reaches of this terminal awaits the device which holds Calix's memories. It falls to us to make the climb and destroy it once and for all. I must bring Maya's to the Finifant. We will not suffer him to cause Alexandria further harm, nor claim the key. The Queen entrusted it to Kazina for good reason. And besides, it would be a tragedy to relinquish a relic with so much research potential. Apparently Calix thinks he's taking a measure. I urge you to correct that misguided assumption. We defeated despair. We can defeat death. I wholeheartedly concur. Yet still counsel caution that he would be so bold as to test invitations bespeaks tremendous confidence in his preparations. Come, friends, we set forth in the midst of the dreaming endless. The promise of tomorrow.
I stand ever ready.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
I too can fight.
'Twould be a pleasure as always.
I'm not actually gonna run this dungeon like this. I just want to see what she does.
come. I'll begin by wearing you down. Begin by wearing you down.
What is preservation's purpose? The answer to that question is simple: to ensure that the survival of mankind. The world beset by lightning aspect of gas. It means it's secure, and that's what people live the safest. This means securing a place where people may live in safety, as well as establishing a for living safety space plans. Many approaches were considered.
I've created new endless for you. Not all at once, but they will follow order. Kill and survive and so forth. Good. I shall prepare the stage for battle.
Many approaches were considered. In the end, they as a child, the youth of the approaches these games for the police station that changes from the
Of a physician, one who saves lives should be reluctant to die. You've overburdened the system. No matter. It served its purpose.
According to Master Codex, it's not the body which provides life to the living being, but the soul. Furthermore, it's the memory such upon the ephemeral giver of existence, which encapsulates one's true self. Based on these principles, he has proposed a methodology for preserving souls using these principles. Proposed a method. Souls are composed entirely of ether. He asserts that storage via contemporary means should be eminently possible. Experiments conducted on criminal such as volunteers have, in fact, already proved successful in catching the ether, the marvelous ether. Mankind's knows to the ether.
We visit a prison of sinister repute. I need not compel them to fight. These are loyal executioners. They shall deal appropriately with criminals. Your sentence is death. How long can you defend? Criminals may run, but they cannot escape. escape.
We succeeded in transferring a soul stored within a specialized obstructive device into the soldier, but in full control and function. No longer need we fear the erosion which mighty inches affecting both flesh and blood. Despite this crucial breakthrough, Master Calyx remains unsatisfied. He would divorce memory from soul, siphoning the soul's aether reserves while granting eternal life to the initial memories. Embedded to a soul, memories can only be stored, but also not only be stored, but also backed up as data, and thus will be beings of pure information. Foreshortened in life, surrounds past the right perspective needs exhibits such a unique ability we should not have.
Memories from an age rife with death. The desperation will serve well.
Oh no.
The enemy is at the gate. To arms, good soldiers, protect your kingdom.
But yeah, that was truly one of the... Okay, the first fight had some unique mechanics, like not being, like the echo not being reliable, which is really cool. But the second fight, that was pretty astounding. I really like that, and I hope they really continue to increase the uniqueness of dungeons.
Very well. If one by one they fall, I'll send them all as one. Recall the anguish you felt when you faced death, and rise. Rise to defend your nation, your people, and your loved ones.
Memory of the immortal rings. The immortal rings.
Rise and meet the foe before you. An amalgam of memories. Let us see how it fares.